Hello, everyone. Today, or this morning, or this evening, wherever depends where we are sitting, with April Dunnam. Of course, as always, with me, Mustafa. How are you doing, my man?
A little bit tired. Long week, uh, just behind us.
Did
Setting
you
up
do?
and I'm
Did you do
preparing
anything? Did you do anything this week? What did you do the last
a
week?
little bit. Like we scheduled the we've created the agenda, basically a first draft. It was not an easy task with 200 plus speakers on the list and approximately 240 sessions more to come. It's going to be an interesting.
And there
To
are
be honest, I wouldn't be at this like place where I needed to choose from all of that. I cannot even imagine how it looks like.
yeah, but imagine this: the main problem is not putting 200 plus speakers. We've got software for that, but there are people, troublemakers, like that guy Valdek. I mean, I'm you might know him, who are speaking on two or more events. So before assigning a slot to Valdek on the Collab Summit, you need to check does it clash with anything Valdek does on Cloud Summit, and vice versa. So basically, we needed to always look back and forth on the screens and everything was going there, because especially for the first time we've got three conferences, and this is one of the reasons, not by far not the only one, why April is with us today. We've got the European BizApp Summit with us today. Well, it was really a long weekend, and I need to say that I was mainly basically cooking coffees, while Ahmad Najjar and you were actually doing the real work, and I was when I watched at the agenda we have on the end, I'm actually really impressed.
I need to ask a thing.
Do
Is because you mentioned three events going simultaneously at the same time.
yes,
Is there anybody speaking at all three of them?
Yes.
Really?
yes.
Yes.
Wow.
You can
Eric,
guess
stop.
anytime. You
Eric,
no,
stop.
no, shut up. I
Other
wanted
than
him to guess.
you,
I
Alex.
wanted him to
I
guess.
mean, you do not count, right? Anybody
No,
else?
No,
American.
we actually don't. No one from the core team is able to present, right? No one is able to prepare a session and deal with everything that's going on in the
Okay.
background.
Okay,
We
cool.
kind of have a rule that team doesn't speak at all.
So
And the
nobody
only
from our team will actually be speaking, except of opening and closing, but that doesn't count.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
just basically waving to the people.
But there is somebody.
There is somebody.
Eric
Some
Sharp.
say.
I'm giving you hints.
Okay.
American.
April?
American.
Let's go. American. Okay. Is that it?
Texas.
Shops.
Shops.
But there you go.
I mean,
He really is. Eric
really narrows it down.
managed to get sessions at all three events.
Is there anybody else in Texas?
Although we have few other people from Texas. Jason is coming. Jason is in Texas, and
Don is in Texas, I think, as well.
who?
Don Kirkham.
Don is in Texas. I don't know. Neil is in Texas. I mean, we have people.
Oh,
from
yeah,
yeah.
of course, you're right. Wow, yeah, people
There-
move, of course.
There,
Yeah.
there are few who are unfortunately not here this time, who usually are there. For example, Matt McDermott is not this year. Couldn't make it. He is from Texas, for example. But yes, we do have quite some.
Wow.
But let's stop speaking about Texas. April, welcome.
I mean, especially you have someone from Oklahoma here. There's a little bit of a rivalry before Texas,
You see,
Oklahoma.
and
I have
And then
no
you keep
idea.
talking about
American
Texas and
geography and territorial
nah,
things are not my thing. I don't know.
no, but really, I mean, when I looked at the agenda, I mean, it's one thing when we chose the people, the sessions, the speakers, it looked impressive. But when you actually see it in a grid, and when you actually try to place the sessions not to collide with each other, and then you see how difficult that is because there are so many good sessions. This is where I was like, okay, this is really good this year. With that, April having two sessions.
Yes, I'm
For now.
really excited.
But look at Mustafa, or more.
Or more? Okay, I
Or
mean,
more.
I'm always up for more. Now I kind of want to compete with shops and like speak at all three. Have a session in all three. Just
So, which event do you have no talks in, right? So I can imagine like you are on the power side, obviously, duh. You are at ECS, so aren't you like you don't have nothing on the cloud summit?
Just the power side. I got some power apps and a prompting session.
You
But
want to join?
Two steps back. Two steps back. April, can you just? I mean, this is easily to go now because Mustafa, Valdek, and myself know you obviously, and it seems logical and obvious what we want to ask. But for the people who don't know you and who are going to meet you for the first time in Düsseldorf, can you just tell us a few things about yourself, about awesome things you do in Microsoft, and about your awesome studio that you are just joining us from, and all those things behind your back there.
yeah, sure. Well, I work at Microsoft. I've been here about 5 years. I'm a principal cloud advocate, so working in the advocacy team with Waldick. But I am obviously focused on the Power Platform. So I lead the Power Platform team with 4 other great advocates. So we focus all on low code, AI automation, all that kind of stuff, and do a lot of blogging, speaking, creating learn, documentation, samples, speaking at events, YouTube, all that kind of stuff, just to educate and upskill people on how to use and get the most out of the Power Platform.
Wow. And I mean, just for the other people, you just mentioned those few things that your group of cloud advocates work, and maybe you can delve a bit more into it, because I think I know your whole team, and with some of them I'm really friends. But what is that? What you and Valdek and Daniel and people like Lee or Carlotta on the cloud side, what are you doing? What are actually cloud advocates in Microsoft?
That's a good question. I don't know if I'm going to have the most eloquent explanation, but I really see it as kind of, in a way, where like everything that you get to do as an MVP, but working for Microsoft, because we're kind of, getting to really be plugged in with the community and hearing, what are the pain points in the product, what are some, gaps in documentation, like where are people really struggling, or what are they really liking about the product, and being able to be that conduit between the community and the product teams and really have the pulse of kind of what where customers and community is struggling, but then also kind of being those SMEs as well, of like here's what we think is needed in the product, here's what we think is needed as far as tutorials, samples, and stuff to be able to upskill people. So it's a lot of content creation, a lot of kind of thinking outside the box on what are kind of the gaps that we're seeing, and how can we best enable people to get the most out of the products.
And is it fair to say that you are actually being generally helpful? I mean, even Valdek, the last time we met, he gave me a really, really good notebook with some configuration for some LLMs, which I need to thank you for this, Valdek. Thank you very much. No, this is actually real good. But you are for the first time at ECS. We all knew why that didn't work in 2021, though. when April was announced as a speaker. And now we are finally there with April in 2025 at the same place, actually, Düsseldorf. So you see, some things are coming back, and it's also the first time where we split Microsoft 365 content from Power Platform content, because we as an organizer, we actually felt that those two big areas are starting to kind of take the air out of each other. We're trying to put more and more stuff inside, and we have been making too much compromises. And then the only logical choice was actually to split it to different events and to make this to the both conferences the air to breathe, actually to be there. So Mustafa, how many sessions do we have on the Power Platform side? I think I counted something like 90 sessions altogether. Or 80
between 80 and 90. That's probably it's gonna be 90 something at the end, because we are waiting for some content to be added.
Yes.
Basically sessions that we have agreed that will be added from the Microsoft side of the things. So basically it will exceed 90 overall.
So we have got 3 tutorials focused on Power Platform. One, the awesome architecture tutorial led by Claire Edson and Laura Graham Brown, which both of them legends on their own. I think we all can agree about that. Then what else have we got, Mustafa? I'm kind of
We also have one on Fabric and Power BI.
right, John and Jace.
John and Jace,
Because
yes.
we also shouldn't forget that Power BI and Fabric are also part of the European Business Summit. And we have actually a Microsoft-led tutorial on, and this is something that I want to touch later. Microsoft-led tutorial on Power Platform plus AI, Power Platform plus Copilot, developing
Computer intelligence.
Sir?
Computer intelligence.
Computer intelligence.
Here we go again.
Here we go. Actually led by 3 people from Microsoft, by Henri, by Robert, and by member of April's team, Daniel. So they're really 3 great tutorials, 80 plus or 90 plus sessions later. April, what are your expectations from ECS?
Yeah, so I have 2 different sessions, one on building Power Apps in the modern era, so really just kind of touching on the fact that how much Power Platform and Power Apps specifically has evolved and kind of the updates and new ways of developing, and then one on the art of crafting effective prompts for your Power Platform tools. As we all know, AI, we can build with Copilot now, and we can extend with agents, and there's so much that we can do. So being able to write prompts is really important to getting the best and the most out of the tools. So that's kind of what I'll be covering.
April, you just said the catch for the Power Apps in the modern era. I'm holding something to my camera.
10
years. We just have been discussing this.
Yeah, I can't. I mean, when you told me, I guess I hadn't thought about it, but it's been 10 years since Power Apps, or will be this year, came out. It's crazy to think that it has been that long, and then it's really got me thinking how much it's changed, because I started with it when it first came out. You know, I was a SharePoint dev. I was doing InfoPath. I wanted something instead of InfoPath to develop on, like, yes, right, dirty word. So I kind of gravitated to Power Apps, and I can just thinking of how, products just evolve naturally in the cycle of things, and how it was in its infancy versus everything that you can do with it now, and how many companies are using Power Apps for, business critical applications and everything. It's amazing to be part of that journey and just see how much it's evolved.
Do you recall your first Power app ever? Like, what was your first app you built?
Yeah, it was really stupid because I just wanted to see how it worked. So I just created an application to, create an inventory of my shoes. And that was it, like, just to see how it worked, like basic data entry stuff.
Yeah.
Because that's the best way to learn these kind of things. It's just like something that'd be actually useful for you. And then, of course, I convinced my clients to start using it. And I did some, like a timesheet application. That was one of the first ones I did, like an inventory app, and a bunch of stuff since then.
And I guess the second app was making the inventory of those figures on your wall.
My Funko Pops. Yeah, like I need to do that. Well, because now in Power Apps you can do NFC tagging, and I think Funkos have NFC, so you could probably really go all out with an app to track those.
And they're already in them.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh. That's cool.
Things are happening. I mean, when we are speaking about good old days and about that, a trivia. The first article on MSDN about extending Power Apps with custom APIs was written by Tony, Paul, and me.
Was there MSDN?
This time flies. I mean, and I it was yesterday writing that thing together with Tony.
But it almost feels like, like when Power Apps came out, MSDN was already out, but apparently it wasn't.
No. MSDN was still in. Microsoft Learn came few years after that. MSDN was still
wow.
Wow.
Those MSDN blogs, and all the stuff from
yeah.
It was all still there. I was trying to find that article just for nostalgic reasons, like maybe half a year ago, but I couldn't anymore. I think
archive.org.
All
gotta be there.
Yes, but I think all of that was ditched at some point of time from the Microsoft website, which is fine.
I think this time perspective kind of like shifts because of those 2 years when April couldn't come to ECS, for example. Those 2 years kind of extended the period of everything. So basically, you cannot tell what was 10 years ago, what was 15.
No.
So what MSD and Microsoft learned, who knows?
That's for sure.
But from back then to now, and now I'm touching Valdek's favorite topic, computer
Yes.
intelligence.
Yes.
So, April, just for you to know, we all need to say in each of our episodes computer intelligence once all together, because there's a reason for that. Our friend, our member of the content team for the Cloud Summit, Lee Stott, who is the advocate on the cloud side, he literally hates when we say computer intelligence, which is precisely why we are doing it each time.
And it's all
Because we
about
love Lee. Because we
I'm
love
like,
Lee.
it's all about
This is
I feel like I need to preemptively apologize to Lee.
Lee's a friend. I kind of touched the topic when I was announcing when I was talking about tutorials for the European Business Summit. But the topics of AI cannot be ignored, should not be ignored. I mean, this is omnipresent, and we see that Microsoft, and not only Microsoft, basically everybody's today about utilizing AI and utilizing agents and thinking what else can be done, how can we use technology. But when you think about that, a lot of people, at least in my surrounding us, yeah, AI. They immediately is like scenes from Matrix, like green letters going up and down, and like
It is.
people
It's very
hacking
much
their way
fascinating.
through artificial intelligence. And the truth is, everybody can do AI. Everybody can make an agent. You don't need to know coding. And one of the important ingredients of that is actually Power Platform. At least when we speak about Microsoft ecosystem, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's really kind of become the forefront of how we democratize building, the AI with Copilot Studio, building your own agents. I mean, like you said, you'll have a tutorial on that with Daniel, really kind of walking you through how to build agents. But I mean, even things like being able now to start with a Power App. So I'll cover this a little bit in my Power App session, but you can create an agent from your application. So you don't have to do anything else. If you have an existing app that you want to be able to kind of leverage that data and create agent from, you can. It's just point and click. Don't have to know the ins and outs of creating any models or anything like that. It's just baked in. AI builder, same thing. We have tons of pre-built models where we can start interacting and augmenting and adding different AI capabilities to the apps we build and the automations that we build with low code, just with the pre-built GPT models that we have.
Well, a thing I am interested in, because like in my work I talk mainly to devs, right? So these are like technically inclined folks. They are pro dev folks who know how to go, know tech. In your work, April, like you talk to a broader audience. You talk to makers who sometimes are business folks, like people who have a non-IT work and they tend to, have the skills to build things. What's their take on the wave of AI and how welcoming versus hesitant are they, given the fact, like, well, yes, they have like more powerful tools now, but are they embracing it? Is it too much? Is it easy for them?
I mean, from what I've seen, I mean, totally embracing it. And that's what I love about my role in like the product that I get to speak on, with the Power Platform, because I get to talk, like you said, to business people, maybe with no technical background whatsoever, that are able to use some of the, Copilot capabilities to build an app that they never thought they could build before, all the way to professional developers as well that want to integrate with the platform and capabilities. So I've been seeing, especially with that business user audience, just really kind of helping them get up to speed with the tools much more faster. Because, we think about traditional barriers to entry, PowerFX, which is a low-code formula language for Power Apps, right? A lot of people, you could get started building an app really quickly, but then you get stuck when you need to be able to have to write some of that additional logic. Now we have Copilot capability to help us with that too. So it's just helping people get unstuck. And then with, AI Builder as well, helping them be able to do things and add functionality to their solutions that they never thought was possible without knowing how to code.
That's cool. That is so cool.
I'm sorry, but this like beyond insane, if you ask me. I mean, it's 2025. We might not have flying cars that we have been promised 40 years ago.
Apparently,
But
there is
everybody,
one in China.
but everybody, really everybody, can learn how to make AI agents and to utilize computer intelligence without really knowing how to code and without even really understanding some more technical models of the large language models and stuff. Yet, you've got an idea, you know what you are trying to do, and you can have all the tools in your hand to start building AI apps yourself. I mean, I find it beyond awesome.
Yeah, I mean it's amazing. I wish I had some of this when I was first starting out. Like building applications and getting started out in tech. I mean, that would definitely be game changing.
That definitely is. But Valdek, and before we know that April has a hard stop on this one, so we won't be dragging this long very much. We need to respect each other's time. April, thank you for being with us.
We always do. Like now, you make it sound like we don't.
Yeah.
No, we don't.
I don't know what you're alluding to, Alice.
Why am I even doing this? Why am I even doing this? But Valdek told one, because I was actually intending to ask April one thing. With all the changes happening to power ups and power automate and in the past 10 years, first we see the virtual agents, now we see the copilot and everything. What is a typical power apps or power platform developer profile right now, if there is one in the first place? I mean,
Good luck with that.
because I also use that. Sometimes I think, okay, this is a great tool for professional devs to get something done really quickly. When we usually speak about business apps, hence the Biz Apps Summit, the name of the conference. Sometimes I see people who never have been making any software, trying to play with that. And then we also see challenges with that, no question about that, because those people are not used on the concept of the software development life cycle, releases and everything. So or maintaining the software in the first place. So we see that. And now AI is coming and everything. What is a typical, or what is the ideal profile? I mean, is there one? This is just me wondering with thoughts about that.
I don't think that there is a typical profile, or honestly maybe even an ideal, because it is just so broad. Just like the platform as a whole is so broad, right? You can't say that you're a typical Power Platform developer because you can have so many subspecialties, right? You can specialize in automation, you can specialize in apps, agents, reporting, and all of that. So there's that whole thing. But then, as you mentioned, this is something that is really beneficial as well to professional developers that want to build something really fast, or that want to tack on and integrate with some things that citizen developers, low code makers have already built. So there's that whole thing. So I think if you were to think about maybe the ideal kind of skill set, I mean, obviously now, like knowing how to prompt, but then, AI and Copilot can only get you so far. I think having that foundational knowledge as well of the tools, and knowing what it suggests to you is actually good, and knowing the whole ALM and all of that kind of thing, and not just building siloed tools, I think is probably like the ideal where you want to go, and building modern enterprise secure scalable applications, right, with the platform. So
I need to say, last year in Texas, and there we are speaking about Texas again. April just popped into my session about ALM with Power Apps. I hope it was decent enough.
It was amazing.
Thank you. No, jokes aside, all of that what April just mentioned, join us in Düsseldorf. We will have tutorials on all the AI cool stuff. We will have 90 plus sessions about everything that we have been speaking here. We will have all the Power Platform legends and beyond Power Platform. There's one thing I'm totally proud of. We are our Microsoft Partner Conference. Microsoft is our headline partner. But one of the key speakers at Biz Apps Summit this year is going to be Global Vice President of SAP, telling us how Biz Apps work in this data ecosystem. Let's try to look a bit on the other side of the fence. What color of the grass is there? We are still Microsoft conference, Microsoft Partner Conference, but I like some of the perks we have this year at European BizApp Summit, and all those Power Platform legends that you know from the past 10 years now will be with us in Düsseldorf. Isn't it
Looking
awesome?
forward to it.
Isn't really that awesome? April, thank you very much. We are 1 minute over our time. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being with us. And I'm personally very happy that we finally made
Yes.
made possible that April comes to ECS, the European BizApps Summit this year. And I think this is all going to be awesome, and we are all going to have a lot of learning and a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm excited to finally make it there. So really looking forward to it.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.
Thank you both.
Yeah.